Thank you. Okay. Whoa. So getting to know AS Senate, welcome to our informational session. We're going to be going through these items fairly quickly. We're going to hold all questions until the end of the session. If you do think of something in real time, go ahead and type it into the chat. Bianca will be monitoring the chat, and we will get to those questions at the end. And we will be posting this on our YouTube page. So if there's something you would like to go back and take a look at, you will be able to do that quite easily. And then all these materials and everything that we're talking about will be on our AS website, so you can refer to those. This just gives you a good overview of what AS is and the election process. So AS Senate, who is the AS Senate and what do they do? We are you. The AS Senate represents the voice of the students and works to bring student needs, concerns, and ideas to the college president, as well as campus leaders and administrators. Rising to meet the needs of Fullerton College students is our purpose and our #1 priority. So hopefully you will want to join us in getting our voices heard. I'm going to pass the baton to Aaron.
Hi, Aaron Laporte here, student trustee. So what comprises associated students? Basically, we have the student body, that is everybody here, and every student that attends Fullerton College. And then we have our AS senators and representatives. So we have 33 senators total that we have seats for. Currently right now, there are 22 seats that are open. So if you're interested, definitely join us. And then we have our Associated Students Executive. Then that basically comprises of the president and then all the different VPs, which are part of different committees. And then you have the student trustee, which is what I do. And yeah, so that's, if you're not quite sure what Associated Students is, basically Associated Students is your student government. And we are the leaders that try to make your experience here at Fullerton the best it could possibly be. So if like there's any issues, concerns, or anything that you could think of to make your experience here at Fullerton better, that's what we're here for.
Thank you, Aaron. So the current positions that we have available are for senators as well as representatives. Both senators and representatives should apply, and you will need to be approved by meeting position requirements, which we will be going over. Real quick, let's talk about the differences between senators and representatives. So both senators and representatives are voices of the student body. The senators are elected positions, whereas the representatives are an appointed position. Senators have voting power in the student senate, but representatives do not have voting power. Senators are required to participate in a minimum of 1 CDO committee and 1 standing committee. We will be going over what those are. And representatives can be appointed to a CDO and can participate in standing committees. However, it is not necessary. One reason for potentially becoming a representative over a senator could be that you're not able to meet our requirements or our meeting times this semester, but you still want to have a voice at the table and you want to be involved. So this would be a good stepping stone. Maybe you can rearrange your schedule next semester and be a representative this semester. So that's a little bit about the difference between those two. So eligibility requirements. Returning and transfer students must have completed at least 5 units and maintained a 2.0 GPA or better in their previous semester at Fullerton College or a previous college. And they need to be currently enrolled in 5 units with an overall GPA of at least 2.0 during the semester of their candidacy. Entering freshmen must have achieved a minimum of a 2.0 GPA during their senior year in high school and have at least a 2.0 GPA for any completed college coursework. And then there is a term limit for senators. It is 8 semesters, up to 8 semesters. So next, we're going to talk real quick about the responsibilities of student senators. So this is the election code. This is exactly verbatim what your responsibilities are. So the student senator shall represent the students of the college, make motions, act upon all student senate business, deliberate and vote, serve on at least one standing committee, at least one campus district and other level CDO committee, work on projects as assigned by the student senate, committee chairpersons, and the executive officers, inform students at large regarding upcoming and ongoing student senate and club events, canvass and recruit new student senators and student representatives, and mentor to develop new student senators and student representatives. Now let's break that down for you. Once elected to the office of student senate, there are 3 main commitments. So you need to attend and actively participate in AS Senate meetings. You need to sit on a minimum of 1 CDO committee and actively participate. And you also need to join at least one of our standing committees and actively participate. We do record attendance and it is part of the position. So as far as AS Senate meetings go, we hold them on Tuesdays. They begin at 1:30. We do our best to end the meeting at 3. Occasionally it goes a little longer, maybe to 3:30, but we try not to do that. These meetings are generally on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month. Occasionally, if we have a lot to go over or if something comes up, we may throw an extra meeting in between on an off week, but that doesn't happen too often. So in these meetings, senators discuss and vote on student life enhancing initiatives, mandatory commitment to the Office of Student Senate. The mandatory commitment is that you attend these meetings. The Senate currently meets on Zoom. We follow parliamentary procedure in accordance to Robert Rules of Order and the Brown Act. Meetings are recorded and open to the public, and your time commitment for this part of the position is between 0 to 2 hours a week. Some weeks we meet, some weeks we don't. So the next part of your commitment would be CDO committees, and I'm going to pass this over to Aaron. We have highlighted some of the main committees.
Yeah, so CDO committees, I'm gonna get used to some of the acronyms that we end up with higher education. Everything gets shortened. So college and district oversight committees. So these committees, they're run by and comprised of college administrators, faculty, classifieds, and staff. So there's over 30 CDO committees, and it allows us to have student representation to fill those committees. Obviously, the more students we have as senators, it does help us out because then we get a broad range of students being able to participate in that shared governance. So there is a time commitment, and that kind of fluctuates from 0 to 3 hours per week. And then as you can see, there's a list of the sampling of these CDO committees. And these are like kind of like the main, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but these are the ones that's been highlighted. President's Advisory Council, the Curriculum Committee, the Distance Education Advisory Committee, Student Health Advisory Committee, Transfer Advisory Committee, Institutional Research and Effectiveness Committee, Student Equity and Achievement Committee, and the Sustainability Committee. So as you can see, there's a lot of different committees that if you're interested in being a part of that, you could join and get, I believe you get appointed to that. And once you become a senator. And we'll go ahead and pass that along to, let's see, here's the next one. So now, what are standing committees? So standing committees are basically what associated students, which is basically dealing within our governing body. And these committees are led by the executives, and they're filled by student senators and representatives. So the time commitment for these is basically 1 to 2 hours per committee, usually every other week. So you have judicial, they oversee the administrative aspects of AS, and it's basically the rulemaking committee. You have finance, which manages the financial portfolio of associated students, and you have the elections, and environment, which works on making the campus more sustainable, environmentally conscious. You have research, planning, and resolutions. Basically, this committee writes resolutions on behalf of students. And you have the communications, which is the liaison between student senate and campus. So communications basically covers everything in terms of like getting the word out there of what's going on at school, and also done by social media platforms, by email, like via our student senate newsletter. You have the curriculum and education committee, and this committee recognizes the gaps and issues within classroom curriculum and works to resolve and spread awareness of these gaps. And then you have the activities committee, which plans and executes a lot of the campus events and workshops for students. So these are really different committees that you could either join one or multiple. Again, it all depends on your schedule.
Thank you, Erin. Next, we're going to move on to the AS Senate election process. And for this, I'm going to pass it over to Kennedy DeVries. She is participating. She's a member of the election committee this semester, and she will walk us through the process.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gone over all of the different committees and what your requirements are. So what we're going to do now is go over how exactly you join Associated Students and what the process is to get that all started. If you hear quacking in the background, those are my ducks. Okay, so for election materials, you're going to need to kind of fill out a bit of paperwork and also do some reading to kind of make sure you're up to date on everything. Everything can be found on the AS website. So if you go onto the website that I put in the chat and go under elections, you should be able to find all of the information that you're going to need. So make sure to review every single piece of material and cover what you need to learn before you fill out the paperwork, and then fill out the paperwork and submit it to the email address that you found on the paperwork and in the election packets. Okay, so read it, make sure you understand before continuing on. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so elections this fall follow a series of dates. My recommendation is to keep track of them. There are quite a few. So take a note, write them down, take a screenshot, doesn't matter. So for today, the election thing that is happening today is our first thing on our election timeline. But as we continue on, all of that paperwork that we mentioned on the last slide, you're going to need to fill that out and complete it by the 17th. So make sure to get started, make sure to start reading so you can get that thing submitted in early, make sure that you have it all done just in case you are missing a spot or you have something that needs to be fixed or anything like that. Any next thing on our list is the 20th. So you're going to need to make, well, it's completely optional, but you have the option to make flyers, do announcements, send out photos, anything like that. And that all needs to be approved through the elections committee. So what's going to happen is, as the election committee, we will look over your things so that we make sure you're not sending out random stuff. Even though we trust you, we want to make sure you're not sending out random stuff to the entire campus. So your deadline for that will be the 20th. And then you can campaign and send things in all the way starting at the 17th until the 20th. So you have time to send things in and have us check them. Excuse me. Okay. Finally, the most important, or in my opinion, most important thing to do is the elections. So the elections will be going from the 22nd to the 26th. They will be online, so any student will have the opportunity to vote in the elections. We will be sharing them as much as we can, but that date will be the amount of time that students will have the opportunity to vote, okay? And then we have some extra paperwork and financial stuff that's due later on, such as financial statements and stuff, and appeals, just in case things go weird or get wonky. But keep track of dates, make sure you know where things are. Okay, that's enough about dates. Let's move on. Okay, so campaign statements. So I had mentioned you have the option to do videos, to send out statements, to do anything like that. Now, for that, on our AS website, you have the ability to have a picture of yourself, some words that explain who you are, what you're doing, what you look like, and things like that. And that deadline, once again, will be on the 20th to send those in. So these are your guidelines for what you want those to look like. You will need a statement. It can only be so long. A video, it can only be so long. Nobody wants to watch a 15-minute video. And a campaign photo. That's it. Super fancy. All the fun is that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, ballots. Super fun. Submit your paperwork because the order of your name on the paperwork will be the order that your application was submitted in. So the earliest people in, early bird gets the worm, as they say. You will be the first name on the ballot. And as you move down the ballot, those are the people that submitted their paperwork last. So say you decide to submit your paperwork early in the morning on the 17th, you will be the last name on the ballot. And no one wants to be the last name on a ballot. It's not fun. You want to be first. So make sure you submit your paperwork on time. Okay, let's continue it. Okay, publicity rules. There are some rules that you have to follow. We can't just let you do whatever you want. Sadly, I wish that was the case. Let's just read through these. All candidates' campaigns shall be conducted in an ethical manner with mutual respect toward other candidates. No, evil videos that slam or other candidates or hate videos. None of that. It's a very calm process. Be chill. Be normal. It's all cool. Okay. Copies of all campaign publicity to be posted, distributed, or sent electronically are to be submitted to the election committee. I mentioned that earlier. Submit it to us. You have to submit it to the AS email address, and then we will review it, and we'll get it back to you rather shortly. It's not a long process, but we have to check it over just to make sure things aren't weird. And then any campaigning, including but not limited to publicity in the form of posters, flyers, banners, buttons, blah, 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 blah. Long list of things are subject to Fullerton College policies and rules. So when we look over things, there will be some guidelines that we're following. Stick to normal things. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Okay, more publicity rules. Yes, there are more. I know. We still have to go through them. It's necessary. Okay, ensure equity and fairness. Refrain from asking endorsements from college or district employees. Don't go to, say the president, be like, hey, please advertise me. You can't do that. That doesn't work like that. You also can't ask the Fullerton College Instagram to advertise for you. We gotta be fair. We can't pick favorites. Okay. Club and organization endorsers providing campus materials publicity must meet the same requirements as candidates. The endorsers are to be included in the amount of money of each candidate's maximum policy requirements. Lots of people who are applying to be AS senators also participate in clubs. They can advertise for you. Just make sure that they follow the same procedures as you as an individual. You have to get things approved. If they cost money, you have to write it down. The levy. Okay. Given that the campus is not fully open, you may not post any campaign materials on campus. I know, sadness. We can't post materials on campus. Not that it's that big of a deal. Not that many people are on campus. My recommendation to you would be to use social media to reach out to people, contact your friends, contact your classes, ask your professor if you can speak to their classes. All of these are valuable options in, getting people to vote for you. Okay, expenditures. So you cannot spend more than $100. Yes, I know. It would be fun to build a gigantic event and throw a party, but one, we can't afford that. But two, you can't spend more than $100 for the fairness of everybody else who also cannot afford to spend more than $100 on an election. So the limit is $100. Once the election is over, you are required to submit a financial statement. If you spend nothing, you can put 0 on the financial statement. Regardless, you do still have to submit the paperwork. The paperwork is due on September 27th. Submit the paperwork, or you cannot be elected as a senator, even if people voted for you. So make sure that you get things in. There are deadlines for a reason. Okay, I think that was not my long spiel. I'll send it
That
back.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kennedy. And
Okay,
back to
so-
Erin.
Yeah. One way to get in touch with us, different ways. You could call us, email us, look for us on our website. There's a lot of information on the website. That's under the HTTPS at AS as.fullcall.edu/. Look us up on Instagram at fullcallas. Anytime that we have anything that's happening, within campus and anything that's pretty much related to Fullerton College, you will find on that page, the Instagram. And also we can be found on YouTube. So once we're done with this meeting or this info session, we'll have that available for you as soon as possible. Again, any questions, comments, inquiries, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you.
Thank you, Erin. We're now going to open the floor to questions. So Bianca, did we have any questions while we were?
So far we have no questions.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions? Anything you'd like us to reiterate? Anything we didn't cover? Melissa, Lily? Kennedy, we can probably stop recording. Thank you.